In mid-January, a winter that had otherwise been unusually warm plunged abruptly into a cold snap thanks to a blast of cold air from the Arctic. All over the United States, record low temperatures were recorded, although the Pacific Northwest cold was still more moderate than the minus 40 temperatures in the Midwest. But even we were seeing sub-zero cold in places which are normally in the upper 20s or low 30s. That weekend, I picked a crisp, clear day and planned to take my cameras with me into the mountains to film a few familiar locations with extra ice and snow. As I made my way north into the Nooksack River Valley, the temperature readings dropped from the teens into single digits. In places I saw cold as low as 4 or 5 degrees Fahrenheit. Climbing out of the valley, the combined cold and change in altitude triggered a low tire pressure warning for one of my tires. But it held steady as I monitored the gauges, so I continued my climb. The light of day was already creeping into the sky, and I was racing to catch the sunrise at my first photo location. Alright, good morning. I am up at Mount Baker ski area right now, and I had hoped to go snowboarding today, but it's actually too cold for operations, so they're closed today. And actually, believe it or not, we're on the upward swing of this cold snap. So yesterday, the high was -3 Fahrenheit, and the low was -18, which is extremely cold. It was a record-setting cold day for Baker. They said it was the coldest day they've ever had on record. And basically what was happening is like fuel lines and parts of equipment and stuff were failing, which was causing things to kind of intermittently shut down. So because of the fact that the machinery and stuff wasn't really rated or designed to perform at those temperatures, they decided today that they would just shut down operations altogether. But I had initially planned to come up here a little bit early anyway to try to get here for sunrise to do some photography. So basically what I did was still get up at the same time. I just left the snowboard at home and just brought my camera gear and came up to just focus solely on photography today. So I got some cool shots of Mount Shuckson here just along the side of the road at one spot that I really like. And I think I actually kind of just missed the best alpenglow light. As I was pulling up, the sky was like, had this amazing gradient behind the mountains to the north. And the sunrise started to taper off by the time I actually got to a parking spot. And that's partly because, I set my alarm this morning, or I thought I did, for 4 a.m. But apparently I did not set it for the right day, or for whatever reason it didn't go off today. So I ended up waking up on my own at about 5:10, and I had initially planned to leave my house at about 5:15. So I got a little bit of a late start by about 10 minutes, and honestly that 10 minutes would have made the difference in terms of getting photos of these mountains off to my left. which were just looking fantastic with that glow behind them and these really, really thin clouds. But I did get one shot with the telephoto lens on my camera that was pretty good, potentially, at Pano, but it was pretty hastily done. I had to do it handheld. I was just trying to rush and get the shot, so I'm not sure if it'll turn out, but if it did, I'll go ahead and share it. Anyway, I'm just leaving this area now, and since I've turned this day into a photography day, I'm going to go down to Nooksack Falls, which is a place I've been before in the winter, and it looks really cool usually when it's this cold, where it builds up a bunch of ice on the sides of the falls and stuff. And I have a new drone since the last time I was down there, so I want to get some new video footage. So I'm going to stop at Nooksack Falls and then kind of make my way back home and stop for photography wherever I see inspiration. So anyway, I'm going to focus on driving for right now, and I'll be down at the falls in a little bit. Okay, how's it going? I'm here at Nooksack Falls. So just behind me is the waterfall. And because it's been so cold the last few days and it's been snowing last week, it's way more icy than it was last time I was here. So I'm really excited about that. Right now, I'm just waiting around for the sunlight to come into this little valley here. And I can see it just on the trees, maybe about 50 feet or so up above my head. So I think probably within the next 30 minutes, we're gonna have light coming in here, and I wanna get light on the waterfall so I can do some cool filming. The last time I was here, I took some drone footage of the waterfall. That was really awesome. But I have a brand new drone that's a lot nicer than the previous one that I had. So I'm really excited to get that up in the air and get some shots here. I'm probably gonna try to limit my flight time to 5 minutes or less though, because you can see the amount of water vapor and mist that's coming off the waterfall. And where the temperatures this morning are still around 10, 11 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're well below freezing. And I think that there's a risk that the props on the aircraft could start to ice up and make it difficult for me to land it. So gonna really kind of make the best with a 5-minute flight time, make sure I have a full battery just in case. And then I'll take some shots with my camera as well with the telephoto lens on it. And I think those will look really cool. So with that, let's take a look at what we shot.
Thank you.